None of my interns are answering their pages. Did they go home or did they just...
Hey, you! Where are the other morons?
I don't know. I was just getting candy and, I don't know.
Clearly.
I don't know anything.
Hey! Give me your chocolate. No, don't give me that too.
How could you do that to him? He's a good man.
Oh, okay. And you are?
Of course you don't know who I am. You don't give a damn. I'm Romeo's fiancé. We were supposed to be married in September before you let him plead out to a year, just so you wouldn't have to deal with the hassle of a trial.
Well, I'm sorry you're upset. I really am. But I promise you, we discussed his options. The plea was what he wanted.
But a year for this? You're supposed to be a lawyer.
He was caught inside a medical lab.
You even asked him what he was doing there? He was just trying to save my job. Get my sample back. How you let him take a year for that?
My dad has told me about your loss.
She doesn't really like talking about that.
Sometimes it's hard to understand God's design.
Now listen.
May I speak? You're my father's wife now. My children will grow to know you as their grandmother. Because it's the time spent together that counts. More than blood. Time counts the most.
What's wrong?
All right, Mr. and Mrs. Ortíz. The ultrasound shows that your baby has a large mass involving the lower face and neck.
A mass? What does that mean?
Does my baby have cancer?
Right now, the most pressing issue is that the medications aren't stopping your contractions.
What are you saying?
There are 2 immigration agents at the desk who want to talk to your patient.
Amir está aquí.
What do we do now?
All right, your baby needs to be delivered.
Por favor, tienes que irte, por favor.
No te voy a dejar.
Mi amor.
Here we are with Gloria Garayua.
Yes. Nice.
And so Gloria, we've spoken on and off over the past couple years, kind of.
Yeah.
And so you've been in this town for about 10 years.
About 10 years.
10 years. And I figure by Hollywood standards, you're a working actress.
Yes.
and you actually, you have a pretty good, I think a pretty impressive little resume going there.
Have you seen my credits? You see what I've done? Okay.
Yeah,
okay, I've worked. I've tried around. Yeah.
Well, and you've done quite a few shows that I like. You know,
oh, good. Okay.
You know, like especially this year, you were Bones and Southland, which I still miss. And and then you were acting like a badass on Rizzoli Isles.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yes,
I was happy with that one. I love being a badass.
no, that was good. And then in the past, you were a regular also on Grey's Anatomy for a while.
Yes. I was not a badass there. I was a nice doctor.
Yeah. Those doctors intimidated you.
Yes, that's exactly right.
And of course, one of my all-time favorite, Weeds. You did a couple episodes of Weeds.
Yes,
and,
I was supposed to be pregnant.
Yes.
I realized if I get pregnant, I never want my belly that huge. It was so uncomfortable.
So what is your theory or feeling about making the jump to a feature player or star?
Like a series regular or a star. You could be a series regular and be a star, but to jump from the guest stars to the series regular, well, I'm ready. Let's do it right now. I've been ready. I feel like these past 10 years, I thought I was ready before, and I was impatient about it. Where's the series regular? I want it now. But I realized it was important to have my 10 years because now I am ready. Like, I feel like I can handle being the lead of a show. I can handle that weight on my shoulders. I want to. I actually did book a series regular, but nobody knows about it because the pilot didn't get picked up.
That seems to happen a lot.
Yes. So I have one under my belt, but I would like to have one that actually gets picked up. And then I've been a recurring, so I know what it feels like to be on set all the time and have lots to do and be responsible. And as far as film, I've done 3 studio films, so I feel like I'm ready to take that even further now too. So after these 10 years that I've been here now, I feel like I am ready for more. So all those steps were important. But you mentioned something that I wanted to talk about because you said, "Oh, according to Hollywood standards, you've been here a while." You know what? Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be honest on this video. Apparently, I'm still new. You know what I mean? It takes a while to establish yourself, and now because of the recurring on Grey's Anatomy and because of all these guest stars that I've booked, now I'm becoming a recognizable face. Now, after 10 years. And we're talking 10 years in film and TV, but I have a whole background in theater. You know, like I came from New York and I did theater in New York and I toured nationally. I have about 4 tours under my belt and I've done theater here in LA. But because film and TV reach more people, you know, that's where they recognize you from. But I'm just now starting to become recognized. So it's still hard to get certain things done in Hollywood. Like before the camera turned on, we started talking about the Alma Awards. I got to go to the Alma Awards, but I was not allowed to do the red carpet, and I thought that was very insulting. And that's frustrating for me because I think is someone in their position to make this decision not doing their job? What does it take to get on the red carpet if I have this huge body of work and then I hear that other actors that have 1 credit or no credits are walking the red carpet? Not that the red carpet is the end all, but it's just the bonus when you go, you know, you get to walk, you get to expose yourself a little bit, you get to talk about what you're doing, which is exciting. And to be told, you can't, sorry, we have others that we need to fit in, makes me think, well, who are these others? And how do I get to that point where I am approved? You know what I mean? Like, what bridge am I not taking? So it's a very lovely, exciting, and also frustrating industry.
Yeah, thank goodness I am not an actor. but I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, because like we were talking, I was really surprised when you weren't able to walk.
Yeah, we saw each other at the Alma Awards, and by now you've seen me on other red carpets. So, and I walked the Alma Awards before, so I thought, really? So someone clearly just missed something. Okay, I know better than to make a fuss about things because your reputation is very easily changed in this town. So I made no fuss. I just accepted that. And maybe next year they'll be begging for me to walk the red carpet.
Well, I hope so. So the well, I was going to, you kind of touched on one of the things I was going to ask you about is there a gulf between TV and movies in terms of casting? I mean, is it easier to be cast for a television show than it is for a film for you?
Good question. I think so. I think there's more money writing on a film, so they're very selective with who they choose for every single role. And not that they're not selective on television, but because television moves so much quicker than film, they don't quite have as much time to prep for TV as they would for movies. So they make decisions very quickly. I think when you have more time to make a decision, you're more selective. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to forget Fixin' Paco.
Paco. Yes.
That was a 4-episode web series.
No, more than that. It was 10.
10 actually. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I knew about 4 and then then I realized there was more. Yeah.
That project is close to my heart. Yeah. So I was the lead in that.
Yes.
And I played Paul Rodriguez's daughter. And that was fun because, well, anyone who knows their research knows that I'm not 19. So to be asked to play 19, I was like, yeah, I can do it. Absolutely, I'm going to do it, you know? And it was special because I was able to test myself to see, okay, can I handle the lead in a web series? Can I do that? And there was so much text.
Yes, it was.
And I could handle that. And the Spanish was particularly challenging for me because I do speak Spanish. I can carry a conversation in Spanish, but English has become my primary language for so long.
All of us.
And all my studying has been in English, so I mess up all the time in Spanish, you know, my conjugations and all that. And reading it is tricky. I read probably at a 3rd grade level when I read Spanish, so I have to really work on it. But when I start speaking, if someone doesn't really care what accent I use, if I could just do my Puerto Rican accent, then the Spanish flows a little easier. If somebody wants particular accent, then I feel a little bit like, wow, I have to work on this material in order to push it out. So that was 10 episodes in Spanish, 10 episodes in English, shot in 2 weeks. Yes, 2 weeks, and then there were pickups here and there. But it didn't total for more than 3 weeks. It was a very fast thing.
Did Joe Camareno direct the Spanish version too?
Yes. Oh, it was all on the same day. It was literally like, cut, okay, going again in Spanish, and action. That's pretty much how that went down.
Well, because of this experience, would you like to do more web series?
Yes. I'm constantly looking at breakdowns for web series. I feel there's a whole new niche that's opening up for web series right now, and people are respecting it a little bit more because they realize that there's a lot of money in that. So many of us now watch TV on the internet.
Yeah, that's
so. Yes, I would love to. And that project in particular dealt with a very nice issue. I mean, it's not a terrible issue, but what I mean is a special issue of kidney failure and kidney transplantation and stuff like that. So I felt so good to be able to do something that was educational, informational.
Yeah, I enjoyed some of those episodes.
Did you see it? It's funny, right?
I saw quite a few of them. Now, being Latina, do you think that works to your advantage, or is it an impediment, or simply doesn't matter?
You're asking great questions. Okay. There are two sides to that coin. I think, yes, it does benefit me in many ways. How? There's more and more attention being paid now to including more ethnicities in different projects. So there's a lot more roles being written for Latinas. So I do have a lot of auditions and a lot of opportunity available to me. Where it's difficult is probably where people are still a little narrow-minded, and roles that don't seem like they would be open to Latinas are not being open to Latinas. So, they're still very insistent on the Caucasians, and it's because of who runs Hollywood. I get it. But let's talk about who's becoming the majority in this country. You have to start reflecting society, and so hopefully that's changing. I do see it changing little by little. I'm unfortunately getting older as it happens, so my category is starting to change. Hopefully I'll stay this young looking for a little longer, but come on, we want to open up more roles. I would love to be considered for the lawyer, or I'm going off for detectives now, but there was a while there where no one would ever believe I was a detective because I just look so young. So now I'm going out for those roles, and I'm going out for the mama roles, which I love. I mean, I could be a young mom, but I love playing a mom. I love all, the nurturing aspect of being a mom. So things are starting to open up for me.
Oh, I hope it continues.
Thank you.
So what do you do to keep sharp? You do classes, improv?
I do all those things.
And you mentioned stage work?
Yes, and I also teach. And I love teaching. And I don't want to be one of those actors that falls back on teaching because my priority has always been acting. But I really do love to teach. And maybe it's because it tests my own knowledge, But just talking about those concepts of acting and fine-tuning how to ask for what you want from a performance, from a young performer or, an adult performer is so important for me then to translate into my own work. Okay, how do I give the director what he wants if maybe he or she can't put it quite into the terminology that I understand? How do I do that? So I get to test my own way of doing that when I'm teaching. And I just have so much in here as far as acting that teaching, there's never enough teaching for me. I love it.
You do small classes, or do you do large classes?
Well, I have found that large classes can be difficult. So group classes about 10, no more than that. Yeah, you can do more than that, but that's enough, so you can really pay attention to people. So group classes, and then I private coach. And I love that because that's really where you can see people developing, Yeah, so.
So what kind of plans do you have for the future?
Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm still in the point where I'm auditioning a lot. I haven't been at a point of offers coming at me yet, except for plays. Things have been offered to me as far as plays, but not so much TV and film yet. So I'm still auditioning a lot. But I feel like lately I've been the auditioning queen, and I've been auditioning for major projects, which is awesome for me because I feel like, oh, good. People recognize my name. People want to see me for particular roles now. This is good news. So this year I've booked about 4 things, which is really exciting, and that's not even counting some stage stuff that I've done. I don't know what I have coming up right now. I mean, I'm doing a showcase tonight, and what else am I doing? Well, my birthday's on Friday, so this is kind of a fun week for me. But after this, I'm going straight to an audition. So, you know, I feel like I'm always acting. I just wish someone would pay me for all this prep that I'm doing. But isn't that the case?
Yes. Well, you know, like you said, you've developed so much knowledge over these past few years. What kind of advice would you give up-and-coming Latino actors in particular?
Okay, Latino actors in particular, I would say don't be afraid to accept whatever role comes your way unless it's truly offensive to your religion or you personally. But just take whatever role comes to you because it's about getting the experience. I wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation with you if I hadn't done a million plays and tours and you know, co-star roles and little guest star roles. Don't say no. There's only one thing I ever said no to, and that was this year, and it was something that offended me, and I didn't want to do it at all. But I said yes to almost everything else, even if it was a small part, because it builds. You can't say, can you really, if you can afford to say no to a project, go ahead and say no to it. But if you can't, you must accept work. That's how you're going to get better. And then my advice for anyone else that wants to be an actor, not specifically Latino, is, well, also that applies, accept whatever you can, say yes to everything you can. But 2 more things. Number 1, read as much as possible because I feel reading really has informed my wealth of knowledge that I can then give to characters. But also, don't assume you know everything and open your eyes and your ears and really listen to people. I think in general in our day and age, listening is going downhill, and maybe it's because everyone's face is always in something, you know? But text messaging or whatever it is, a computer. But I think we've really lost that ability to just have a conversation and take your time to listen to what someone is saying. Don't let it be about you all the time because it's not. And that skill of listening is going to then apply to the art form of acting. And you will be a better actor if you can listen, because listening then equates to reacting, which then equates to what you're giving your partner. So you stop thinking you know everything and listen to what your teachers say. And when they give you a criticism, don't get defensive and say, thank you for that feedback. I'm going to work on that. You know, I think that's important to me, to always accept the criticism, even if it's bad. Criticism can be good, it can be constructive. But if someone, you know, says something that you don't like, take it, because that's someone's perspective. And obviously, that's how they're seeing you and the work you've put out. So it matters.
That's very good.
Thank you.
I'm going to take that.
It's something I work on every day. You know, we all have a tendency to not listen. And maybe it's because the thoughts in our head are so loud. Like, I have to get these thoughts out. They're important. Well, how important are they? Do they have to be said right now? Is the world revolving around you? Maybe you can wait 5 seconds and listen to the person in front of you. And that matters. You know, I'm doing that more on the red carpet now. I'm listening to interviewers. And sometimes I realize they're not hearing their own question. And they're not even in the moment. And I think, how important am I to you right now if I don't feel important? You're not really listening to me. And that matters in all our relationships in our lives.
Yeah, I mean, even doing what we're doing right now is, you know, it's like...
It's about listening, right?
It's about listening. Yeah. And so, well, here's the fun question.
Okay.
Here's the fun question.
Okay, I'm ready, I think.
Favorite fruit?
Oh, plums.
Why?
Because, first of all, they're small. I like things that come in small packages. They're crispy on the outside and soft on the inside. They can be sweet depending on where they are in their development rate, or they can be tart. And I love that. I love making that squishy face. Like, So, plums.
Hey, that's wonderful. Well, Gloria, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
Really,
I can go on and keep talking to you. This is fun. Thank you so much for asking me. I appreciate it.
And thank you for accepting. And I wish you the very best.
Thank
always.
you. Thank you so much. And likewise.
You think someone murdered Mike?
We're looking into everything. What is it?
Probably nothing.
Probably nothing, but, tell us anyway.
And this last month, at night, when Mike thought I was asleep, he'd go to the garage, lock the door. Almost every night.
Did you ever ask him about this?
No. I thought he was nervous because the wedding, I thought men need their space. I never asked.
Mama, I think we need to talk. What did I do with those ace bandages? We gotta flatten you down.
Listen to me. I don't want to be an actress.
You can't quit.
I'm special. This is my destiny. It's why I was spared. You spent the last 20 years telling me I'm meant for big things.
And you are.
No, I'm not special. I'm normal. And I just want to have a normal life. Get married, have kids.
And there's gonna be plenty of time for that.
You always say that. Why can't you admit it's over?
What am I doing? It's early. Let's double down on the girl time. No, when you leave, you have to stay left. I can't take it anymore. I don't want to be your friend. I don't want to drink tea with you or hear about your stupid diabetic mother and the fluid in her legs.
Your best friend told me to be friends with you. She said you fired your last nanny because she kept it too professional.